Welcome to lesson 7.7, where we're going to be taking a look at using negative numbers. We've seen them a little bit before. Often we know it's negative because there is this little subtraction or a minus sign in front of a number. Before we get started, your joke for the day: why did the girl wear glasses during math class only? Because it improves her division. All right, take a look at a math message, which is going to be on page 229 in your math journal. And it's also down below. We're going to plot all these different things that are happening, so we have an understanding of what it means to be a negative number. So A, it says check in 5 minutes before the race starts. So if the race starts at point 0, 5 minutes prior or before the race is going to be down here. B, it says changes gear 30 seconds after the race starts. Well, 0 is when the time of the race starts. 30 seconds is going to be halfway in between 0 and 1 minute. It says they're going to get onto the bicycle 30 seconds before the race starts. So before the race is going to be a little on this side, and right down the middle between 0 and 1 is going to be our answer for C. It says the winner finishes at 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Well, you're going to start after the race has started, and so they're going to be of a positive amount, which is going to be in between the 6 and the 7. It says that to complete the first lap 3 minutes and 15 seconds after the race starts. So after the race starts, we have E. And last one, check the tires 7 minutes before the race starts. That sounds like always a good idea. Hate to go out on a race with flat tires. So 7 minutes prior is going to be down in this region of 7 minutes prior, or the counting down before the race. What are examples that you see negative numbers, or you've heard of negative numbers? Some of you are using your picture clues to help you. Some of you are thinking about homes. Well, if you owe the bank money, you are a negative amount before races start. Our temperature is often negative in the winter, especially in the year that we are having. It's important to understand the different symbols that we have. We always know that we eat the larger number, but what is the larger number when we come to, let's say, an example that looks like this? If we're looking at -3 and 1, a lot of us would say, hey, we need to eat the larger number, so -3 is greater than 1, but we're going to learn that that's not really the case. I would rather have $1 than owe somebody $3. So we cannot always just say that the bigger number is the larger number, because we have to understand the number on a number line. But what does less than mean? Well, that's going to look like that symbol if it's greater than and if it's equal to. We need to know those symbols as we go on to the next parts of the lesson. Here we go, where we're going to take a look at some examples of numbers and figuring out greater than, less than, equal. I have a number line provided up above that is going to be of great use and help to us. We know that the further to the right we go, the larger the number is. The further to the left, the smaller the number is. Would you rather have $5 or owe somebody $1? This is the place you would like to be, further to the right. So taking a look, -6 and 6. Yes, they are both 6, but they are not equal, because here is -6 and here is 6. Are they the same amount? They are not. What would you rather have? You would rather have $6 whole, so the larger number is going to be 6 positive. Looking at 11 and -11, thinking, extending our number line, we definitely would like to eat the larger number, which is 11. Taking a look, -8 and 0. What would you rather have? I would rather have 0. Thinking about 230 and 203. 230 is greater than 203. That is going to be further to the right on the number line than 203. Looking at -3 and -6. -3 is going to be greater than -6. It's further to the right on the number line than -6. -7 and -4. -4 is further to the right than -7, so -4 is a bigger number. 0 and -6.5. 0 is further to the right than -6.5. 2 is going to be greater than a -5/10, and 908 is going to be greater than -980. If you're looking at a positive and a negative number, you should always know that the positive number is always going to be bigger. All right, I'm going to give you some time to take a look at some of the examples. And then we pause it and we will discuss them in just a short second. All right, there are your answers. You can go ahead and pause and check your answers to see how well you did. All right, putting the numbers in order from least to greatest. So let's find our furthest to the left on the number line. So we're looking for any negative and the biggest negative we can find. So starting on this first example, it would be -12, since it is the biggest negative number, followed up by a -0.5. And then we would have 0, and we're getting bigger to 2 and 12. If you would like to pause the screen and work on the rest of the problems, you can. Pi is equal to 3.1. Here are your answers for the rest of them. I know that some of you might have received some of them incorrect, and you need to look place value by place value to figure out which one is going to be larger, especially when you got down to these, the third and the fourth example. What is the difference between 2,700 and 2,900? Well, it's a difference of 200. So when you're comparing numbers, you should go to the largest place value that they both share. So in this case, the 2's. Well, since they're the same, we have to go to the next place value, which is a 7 and a 9. 9 is bigger than the 7. Looking at the example here, they all start with a 1, so we have to look at the next place value. I have a 2, 4, 3, and 1. 1 is the smallest, then the 2, then I have a 3, then I have a 4. So you look at the greatest place value in order to figure out the numbers, but make sure you're comparing hundreds to hundreds and thousands place value to the thousands place. A big idea that we really need to remember is for any pair of numbers on the number line, the number to the left is less than the number on the right. It doesn't matter where we are up here, but if I have a number, let's say at -7 and a negative at -3, the furthest to the right is always going to be larger than the number to the left. This will be taking a look at your math journal page that you'll be working on. Really make sure that you're using your number line and having your idea of, am I comparing two negatives? Am I comparing two positives? Am I comparing in a negative and a positive? Think about comparing place value to place value, looking at hundreds to hundreds, thousands to thousands, and so forth.